you're watching this, that means you're somewhat kind of interested in watching the nut job and you want to know more. I don't know how that's possible because the trailers are so bad. Hey guys, this is Morgan with the Rotoscopers, and I'm here today to give my review about The Nut Job. So The Nut Job is a Canadian / South Korean / American animated film. It is the first animated film to come out in 2014, setting the bar very, very high for what to expect this year. Not. And I know why people think that. The trailers are horrible. They're filled with fart jokes and the stereotypical story that no one really wanted to know about in the first place about a squirrel stealing nuts. Who cares? But I have to say that after watching The Nut Job, I was actually pleasantly surprised. It was nothing what I thought the trailers made it out to be. It was actually surprisingly different and better. All in all, it was okay-ish. I'm not saying it was good, I'm not saying it was great, I'm not saying you have to go see this movie, but it was okay-ish. So The Nut Job is based on a 2005 short called Surly Squirrel. And the short was directed by Peter Lepinoidis, and he actually is the director of The Nut Job. So if you haven't seen the original short, that's okay. There are some things that are the same and different, but you don't have to see it. And actually, I saw the short after I saw the movie, and I actually thought it was pretty interesting, the changes they made. And wow, computer animation has come a long way since 2005. So The Nut Job is about a squirrel named Surly. He's this purple squirrel voiced by Will Arnett, who is amazing, by the way. I love his voice, and I love Will Arnett. Surly is an outcast. He lives in this park, and it's run by a raccoon who kind of is the patriarch and leader over all these forest critters. I mean, there's birds, there's squirrels, there's groundhogs, all these different people. Not people, but animals. And the raccoon is over that, and so their whole mission is to provide food for the clan, and it looks like they're not gonna have enough for winter. Surly, for one reason or another, because he's just naughty, has been banished, and so it's up to him to find all his food on his own. He has a rat friend who doesn't speak, who's sort of his sidekick and stands by him. And so we kind of started out learning about them. There's a little bit of conflict. There's a girl squirrel named Andy. She was voiced by Katherine Heigl, and I did not like this character at all. She's very by the books and a rule keeper, and the law of justice must be served. We have to give Surly a trial because that's what's fair. We need to give Surly a trial, and I don't know what it was about the character, but she was just really flat, and I didn't really like her. And Katherine Heigl, oh, not good. I mean, when she was delivering lines, it would be like, "Hey, Surly, you got to go." Really? So I don't know if it was Katherine Heigl's voice acting and her performance, or maybe the script, but Andy's character, not a fan. She really didn't have to be there. They just sort of put her in because she was a girl character. This character wasn't in the original short, and I think it was kind of better without her. So there's a simultaneous story of a bank heist. So there's these robbers, and they're planning to rob a bank. So we get to see a little of the humans and what's going on, and they end up, you know, to cover their tracks, they buy a nut shop, of all things. Do those even exist? And they're using this nut shop, which is just conveniently located right next to the bank, so they could build a tunnel and blow up the bank, steal the money, and replace it with bags of nuts. Like anyone's gonna notice, right? So Surly, being the opportunist, says, "Awesome! A whole building full of nuts! This is my dream!" So he goes, and the whole movie is about how he's going to steal the nuts. Hurrah. Then there's this pug named Precious, who was one of my favorite characters in the whole movie. I don't know what it is recently with animation and pugs, but they're awesome and they're hilarious. So, like I said, I went into this movie with really low expectations. So I kind of thought the movie was gonna be down here, like really bad. And when you have low expectations, things can only get up, and so it was kind of right here. And I was like, oh, that was okay. Frozen is up here, just so you know, way up here. Nut Job, Frozen. Got it? The animation was actually really pretty in some parts. I really loved the fur and the texture. Like, I really just wanted to grab Surly's tail because it was just so fluffy. But in some parts, the animation sort of looked like a computer game, and it was a bit odd, but they did what they could. And the story actually sort of is good enough that you don't really focus on the animation. So that's a really good sign. So the funny thing about this movie is, I'm sure when they were thinking about when to release it, they said, okay, we gotta do it when no other movies are coming out, no other animation competition. January, perfect. This is a perfect time. Disney will have released Frozen 2 months before in November. We're gonna be fine. Little did they know that Frozen is still dominating at the box office 6 weeks later. And I wouldn't be surprised if Frozen in its 7th week in US theaters beats The Nut Job in its first week. And that's kind of sad for Nut Job. I kind of actually feel a little bad because this movie is decent-ish. I give this movie 2.5 stars. I think that's what I gave Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2. And it's kind of on par with Planes. It surprises, you have low expectations and you think it's going to be really bad, and it's actually pretty okay. If it's your goal to see every animated movie this year, go see it. Otherwise, I still think I recommend people to see Frozen for the 3rd or 4th time instead of Nut Job. But it was actually pretty surprising, so give it a chance. That's all I'm saying. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Give this video a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe for more animated reviews. We're coming up with a lot of new content and fun videos in the future, so you're not going to want to miss them. And also, if you've seen Nut Job, let me know in the comments below what you thought about the movie. Did it surprise you? Did it disappoint you? What do you rate it? Alright guys, thanks for watching my review of The Nut Job. I'm Morgan, and this is the Rotoscopers YouTube.